I by no means mean to start off the show by saying this, but holy shit, it finally happened. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. This easily the biggest breaking news story that has ever been covered on this channel after 19 seasons at the helm of one of the most prestigious franchises in NFL history. Mike Tomlin, the Mike Tomlin era is over in Pittsburgh. The breaking news within the last 5 minutes, 19-season run in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin just informed his team that he is stepping down as the Steelers head coach. Jeremy Fowler with the big breaking news. The Steelers will now be looking for their fourth head coach since 1969. What an unbelievable way to start the day, not even 24 hours after the Steelers, again, for the seventh time in a row, got absolutely demolished in a playoff game. By the time that this next team even has a chance to win a playoff game, it will have been a full decade since a postseason victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We went over all of the bad stats and optics. Mike Tomlin, I believe, 8-11, and after last night, 8-12 in his postseason career. The Steelers were looking for their first playoff win last night for the first time since January 15th of 2017. The Steelers in this, now it'll be 7 games, but heading into last night, the Steelers were 0-6 in their last 6 playoff games, now 0-7 in their last 7. The Steelers were outscored by a combined 73-0 in their previous 6 playoff games before last night, and in every single of their last 7 playoff losses, at one point in those games, they have trailed by at least 21 points. Now Tomlin, after 19 seasons, an 8-12 playoff record, he is out as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. The coaching carousel now in the NFL, teams with head coaching vacancies, there are a lot. And imagine popping up this post after, at the beginning of the season and saying these teams would all fire their head coaches. The Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Giants, Titans, Falcons, Cardinals, Raiders, and Miami Dolphins, all without coaches now. And this is going to be an insane next few days, few hours on this channel. Oh my goodness gracious. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? First off, 11 of you already in here. I'm sure more will come in as we go along. The big breaking news, Tomlin out as Steelers head coach. What are your thoughts on this move? It's been a long time coming in the eyes of a majority of Steelers Nation. That day, that long time coming, has finally arrived here on January 13th, 2026. To the comment section, Freight Train here. What is going on, Freight Train? As soon as that happened, I sent it. Crazy. Got a couple of other guys in here. Welcome, Kevin Stefanski, says Daniel Spath right here. God is great, says Rebuilt 11 in here. Anonymous in here. Welcome to Shula. Remember, that's a great point brought up by you there, Anonymous. There were reports going back to last weekend before the Steelers and the Ravens faced off, the Steelers have been, at least for the past couple of weeks, doing their due diligence. They have been, looking around, seeing what coaches could be available. Chris Shula, the DC for the Rams, he was mentioned in reports from the likes of Diana Rossini, Albert Breer. I think Freeman, the head coach from Notre Dame, he's been mentioned as well. There are a ton of names that have been floated out there. All of you getting into the comment section really, really quickly. My good old buddy Cam Bunn, as much as this needed to happen, Cam, couldn't agree more with your comment there, bud. And I echo it damn near word for word. Love Mike, but it was time and probably should have been time a couple of years ago. Hope the best for him. I hope, I know fans are going to kick him while he's down and celebrate this, but we do got to remember, most successful regular season head coach, a Super Bowl champion, won another Super Bowl, the 6th for this franchise. But like you said, Cam, it has been time. Hopefully fans, I doubt it'll be in the immediate, hopefully with time, they will be able to celebrate and give credit to where credit's due with what Tomlin did. I apologize first and foremost if I cough here and there. The voice box a little bit shot from last night's game live stream. Have no idea how it's going to hold up between now and then, but we were just going to come on later on tonight, our normal 5:30 show here as always, and recap the game last night, wondering what would lie ahead here for this team. Not really expect to, I'm pretty sure we would have bitched about Tomlin, but we did not think that this was going to be coming like the way it did here. Daniel here, Mike to Cleveland, and this gets wild. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? Just think about how teams, like I think the Dolphins, I think it's safe to say they fall in this category. Teams were thinking, if not did, fire their head coaches just to get a shot at John Harbaugh. Imagine now what maybe some other teams would do. You think a team that just missed the playoffs, are they going to now can their head coach to get a shot at Tomlin? This is going to turn the entire NFL offseason upside down. And another question someone brought up last night, after another terrible year getting blown out in the playoffs for the Steelers, do fans boo at the NFL draft, which is now 100 days away, ironically enough, in Pittsburgh? Do fans boo when the Steelers are on the clock? I think the boo birds might have gone by now. We've been watching the TVs all day. I think Dan Graziano on the screen here on NFL Network breaking this news down. Just insane that this happened just like that. Harbaugh out in Baltimore after they don't make the playoffs. Now Tomlin stepping down. I got to be careful with my words here. It is technically him stepping away from the team. You got to wonder if he is going to be on a TV screen like Mr. Graziano over here in the nearby future. You had Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. He was on 93.7 The Fan last week, and he said that he thinks Tomlin has something in TV in his back pocket. Could Tomlin maybe be feeling all the heat around him from the fan base and say, now's a good time to go do that? We shall see if he does go into TV, if he goes to another team. We shall see. Also, what kind of makes me pissed off about this, does anybody remember when we were around, well, not around this time, I'd say about in the summer last year, midway through the summer, and the Steelers had a first-round pick offer on the table for them from the Chicago Bears for Tomlin services? Hindsight 2020 now. First-round pick would have really been nice, and then the Steelers could have hired Ben Johnson. Just how much different of a situation the Steelers could be in right now had they done that, taken the deal, gone and tried to hire a guy like Ben Johnson. But now here we are. Better late than never to make the right decision. Though, if you would have made this calendar year ago, this decision would have been real nice. You guys just blowing up the comment section right here. 19 of you in here. On your way in, please hit subscribe to the channel, where we cover all the latest and biggest Pittsburgh sports news across all three professional sports teams. This, again, to reiterate, the biggest breaking news story that has ever been covered on this channel. Mike Tomlin out as head coach. Going to get to your guys' comments here throughout. I apologize if I miss any comments. Is this friggin' true? It is truth. The truth is in front of you there, truth. NFL Network has it going. I'm pretty sure if I were to change the channel to ESPN that was on last night, it'd be all over there, all over Twitter right now. This Tomlin stuff, concepts, he can't believe it, saying bullshit. Coach T is the GOAT, says concepts. There were a couple of Steeler defenders in here last night after the game. Concepts maybe was one of those. I can't really remember. Thomas Dowdy coming back from last night as well. He is the GOAT, but he is getting left behind with the new league style of play. Indeed, it needed to be time. And I'm going to bring this up again. I have brought it up, constantly here on the channel. If you want an idea of how good of a decision this could be, you don't need to even go out of the city of Pittsburgh. Look at the local hockey team, the Pittsburgh Penguins. They had two-time Stanley Cup champion, dude who was there for damn near a decade, Mike Sullivan. Near the ending of his tenureship, you could tell that things weren't going right with the team. They were getting older. They were getting left behind by a newer, faster generation. And, it just, things weren't going well. It felt like the team was going to be stuck in the middle, kind of like where the Steelers have been, in purgatory. Not bad enough to where they could get a super high draft pick. Not good enough to where they're making playoffs. What did the Penguins do? They and Mike Sullivan agreed to part ways. Now, look at the Penguins today. They still have, some of their core, like Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang. Those guys represent the TJ Watt, Cam Haywards of the world in this scenario. But the Penguins, they get rid of Sullivan. They bring in some new young players, a new head coach with modern day outlooks on hockey. The Penguins, all of a sudden, scuzzying a little bit. They lost 2 games over the weekend, but overall this season, they have been light years better than what they have been in recent years. I hope and am predicting right now that we are seeing a similar thing finally with the Steelers. A new voice that could do wonders for this team, about to enter into that building after 19 seasons. And for one way or another, hopefully that means change is coming for the worse, for the better. If it's for the worst, fine, you get better eventually. That is what the NFL system, bad teams eventually become good again, unless you're the Cleveland Browns or New York Jets. Or this new voice could be a Ben Johnson. You add in the right pieces, get the right quarterback in here, all of a sudden you look like an absolute juggernaut. So the Steelers finally picking up where they left off with finally picking up where the Penguins left off, following in their footsteps a little bit. It is great to see a refreshing day. First off, I again want to clearly state here, Mike Tomlin, 19 years of service, never a losing season. Thank you for all you did. Those Super Bowl runs, those runs with the Killer Bees and all that, all of those days were fun, but it just had to be time. It had to be time. Thank you for what you've done. This should have been capped off at like 15 years, to be honest, but now we got to move on to something else. It's the old saying, you either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. I think Tomlin clearly saw he was villain number one in this organization, and now he is stepping away. All of you still in the comments here, Jonathan, no believer in Jesus, but damn, thank you, Jesus, no more damn Tomlin. We missed on Ben Johnson. That's exactly what I'm pissed off about there, Truth. Got to go back, not even a calendar year. You could have traded Mike Tomlin to the Chicago Bears for a first-round pick. Could have had Ben Johnson in here. And now, look, just absolutely nothing to show for it. Thank you, Coach T, for constantly overachieving, says Concepts. They were always in the, spotlight. Now they're going to be in a spotlight for a whole different reason. 28 of you in here right now. Please subscribe to the channel, reacting to the big breaking news of Mike Tomlin out as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Going to get to more of your comments in a second. Let's real quick just give a good old search to Mike Tomlin in Twitter here. We do have an official statement popped up here from Steelers owner Art Rooney II going to pop that up on screen and read it off to you fine folks right now. Here is the statement from Art Rooney II. During our meeting today, Coach Tomlin informed me that he has decided to step down as our head coach. Obviously, I am extremely grateful to Mike for all the hard work, dedication, and success we have shared over the last 19 years. It is hard for me to put into words the level of respect and appreciation I have for Coach Tomlin. He guided the franchise to our 6th Super Bowl championship and made the playoffs 13 times during his tenure, including winning the AFC North 8 times in his career. His track record of never having a losing season in 19 years will likely never be duplicated. Of course, they had to add in that. My family and I and everyone connected to the Steelers management and are forever grateful for the passion and dedication Mike Tomlin has devoted to Steelers football. That last quote there will give Rooney a little bit of credit. You never question Tomlin's dedication or anything like that, or his passion for football. He slept and breathed it. Was he very, very set in his ways? Absolutely. But I cannot, take a slight or a shot at his work ethic or anything like that from Tomlin. So that is the newest report from Art Rooney, the second Steelers owner. See if there's any other new stuff. There were a couple of stats after last night's game that I saved. I don't have them, ordered or anything because of I was going to do that a little bit later on for tonight's live stream. Mike Tomlin now tied Marvin Lewis for the longest postseason losing streak at 7 games. The Steelers losers in their last 7 straight playoff games. For reference, the last playoff win the Steelers had, Barack Obama was still president of the United States. We have had 3 different presidencies since then. Tomlin 0-7 in the playoffs since losing to the Patriots in 2016. See if there's anything else here from Tomlin. Those playoff losses, by the way, you cannot underestimate how bad they truly were. 2017, Jacksonville blows them out 45-42. Score wasn't as close as that was. 2018, 2019, they missed the playoffs. 2020, blown out right off the opening start. The infamous Marquise Pouncey snap over Ben Roethlisberger's head. Steelers lost a wild card to Cleveland, 48-37. 2021, Steelers losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in Big Ben's final game, 42-22. I think TJ Watt had a touchdown in that game. 2022, they missed the playoffs. And then the last 3 years, Steelers losing to Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and CJ Stroud in the playoffs. 31-17 to Buffalo. That was with Mason Rudolph. Of course, that 300 yards rushing against game against the Baltimore Ravens last year, 28-14. And then just last night, the Steelers defense, they kept them in the game for 3 quarters of the way. And then everything fell apart in the fourth quarter, 30-6. The final score last night. There are a couple of other Tomlin things that I had here. See if I can find them. But finally, we can put to rest the definition of insanity being the same thing being done over and over and over again. What's the one constant? Didn't matter if it was Ben Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph, or even a 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers. Didn't matter whether you had Todd Haley or Matt Canada or Arthur Smith as OC. Didn't matter who you had as DC. Didn't matter what sort of star defensive players you had, no matter how many times you interchanged those out. The one constant in this now decade of failure and mediocrity and constantly being stuck in purgatory for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that has all been with the constant variable of Mike Tomlin as head coach. And now he is out. Tomlin last night, some of his infamous final words in public as Steelers head coach Tomlin after the game last night, quote, "Words are cheap. It's about what you do and you don't do. People talk too much in our business. You either do or you don't." Well, he didn't. And now sounds like from his own doing, he didn't. And now he is splitting and talk about people talk too much in this business. That might be his next endeavor in life, talking on a TV screen, which, I mean, holy hell, full frickin' panel on NFL Network. Rappaport, Graziano. That you had someone else up there as well. Just geez. Let me real quick look at ESPN. Is Chef Dion? This broke. I wonder what the Pat McAfee show is doing right now. I have not watched any of the Pat McAfee show today, but I bet you they are losing their minds. They're on commercial right now. Why are you on commercial, ESPN? This is the biggest breaking news that we will ever have this offseason. You thought John Harbaugh was a big story. This is kiddie stuff compared to that. Or that's kiddie stuff compared to this. More here on Tomlin, just scrolling through all of the Tomlin stuff. I guess that officially makes the Steelers' decision of whether or not they were going to pick up Mike Tomlin's third-year option in his contract extension a moot point. Steelers had a decision to pick up his contract for 2027 or not this offseason. Now Tomlin stepping away. The Steelers, that choice taken out of their hands. Again, want to not, dance on the grave of the Mike Tomlin era too much here. We got to keep things a little bit in perspective from a success standpoint. Tomlin, 193 wins. I believe he tied Chuck Noll for most wins in franchise history. 8 division titles, a Lombardi Trophy. Always constantly reigning over the other 3 teams in the division. But now Tomlin is out. 2007 to 2026, the Mike Tomlin era comes to an end. Steelers, their 4th head coach since 1969, will be made this offseason. Will he be, another guy that goes 19 or more years? I highly, highly doubt it. But, this just needed to be had. Change needed to be had. Everyone's been, losing their minds on Steelers Twitter. It has been an absolute hellfire on Steelers social media for the past 12 hours or so. And now that hellfire maybe starting to fan the flames a little bit with this story, or celebration, starting to put the flames out here with this news. Seeing if there's any other, Tomlin stuff here. Just more and more stories and reports coming in on the breaking news. Chuck Noll, 23 seasons at the helm for the Steelers. Bill Cowher, 15. Mike Tomlin, 19. We shall see next if the next head coach will be able to go that long. In the comments section of the 20-30 of you in here right now, please in the comment section, your thoughts or who you want to be the next Steelers head coach. I mean, we might as well start that conversation right now. Who do you want to be the Steelers head coach? And look at me. Look at me. When I say this, Art Rooney, you better let Omar Khan pick this next head coach. Because I swear to God, if we have to live through Arthur Smith getting elevated from OC to head coach, I will lose my mind. And we will break stuff. So the only guy I don't want. No Arthur Smith. Kick his ass out, too. I don't mean to be mean to Arthur Smith, but that was absolutely trash. Looking here. Concepts with a comment here. The list of quarterbacks is trash. More proof Tomlin overachieved each year. Who do you think was... I don't mean to, shoot back at you here, Concepts, but who brought in those quarterbacks? Who saw Kenny Pickett every single day at the split facility shared by Pitt and the Steelers and said, yeah, bring that guy in? Who was responsible for the literally lone responsible person for bringing in Aaron Rodgers this season? Who said, or who had the most influence in saying, yeah, Mitch Trubisky, he could be a nice bridge guy? Who wanted to bring in a veteran guy like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? All falls back to Tomlin in some way, shape, or form. He was the constant. Now the constant variable is finally going to get changed. Freight train here. I would move heaven and earth to go to get Kirk Sidnetti. But yeah, he's not leaving Indiana. I doubt Marcus Freeman's leaving Indiana. You'd probably be looking like a guy like this. I like this pick right here from Jace Paul, Clint Kubiak. If you're the Steelers now, you got to start moving like that because, I mean, you've already had your two division rivals, the Browns and the Ravens. They have already gotten interviews with Clint Kubiak, Cliff Kingsbury, Stefanski, Harbaugh. Like those teams, they have already gotten to most of the high-profile coordinators and old coaches and stuff like that. So now, if you're the Steelers, you got to get your ass moving in a real quick hurry here because they've already got a week or so head start on you in that race. LMAO, I was just typing Arthur Smith, then name Acrisure as FedEx Field. Wasn't FedEx Field the name of the old Redskins stadium, or am I tripping on that? We don't need any sort of association with FedEx here. Acrisure is already enough. If it were up to us, we'd all sign a petition, the entire city of Pittsburgh, to have it be called Heinz again. 33 of you in here right now. Please hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look here. Up to 703 subscribers on the channel reacting instantly to this breaking news. Was live on stream here within 5 minutes of this news being handed out by, I believe it was Jeremy Fowler who was first to report it. Tomlin out as head coach in Pittsburgh. Let's do some scrolling here on Twitter. See if we have any more reactions to this. There are tons and tons of other Steelers accounts out there, including this one reacting to this. Tons of Mike Tomlin memes already getting thrown out there. John Harbaugh, the old SpongeBob and Patrick drying out. Tomlin and Harbaugh, we did good for a couple of goofballs. There it is, right there. Please bring him home. Literally bring him home. This guy right here. Win a national championship and then come to Pittsburgh, and then you can go and beat up the Raiders GM, make him trade the first overall pick to the Steelers, and then Fernando Mendoza is the Steelers quarterback. Bring him home. Pittsburgh, PA, born and raised. Curt Cignetti. I'd take it in a heartbeat. Or some other guys. I mean, someone earlier brought up Kevin Stefanski. I like Stefanski. You know, maybe it's I'm actually sure it's more of a Cleveland thing than it is him, but I mean, or how are fans going to react to that? I don't know. Clint Kubiak, I like as an early guy. Cliff Kingsbury, I wanted to bring in as an offensive coordinator. Maybe I might upgrade that to wanting Kingsbury as head coach now. Mike McDaniel, I wanted him as a coordinator first and foremost, but not as, head coach. Think his head coaching days are behind him. This one here from Theo, not Bill Belichick, but just as much as Curt Cignetti, call it, his charisma on, YouTube and stuff with his podcast and Barstool Sports. John Gruden would be an ideal bring back the physicality and tough room nature of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Make the Pittsburgh Steelers a team that you fear is going to punch you in the mouth again. John Gruden would certainly bring back that type of mentality. Raheem Morris here from Jace Paul. Get Raheem. Raheem as DC. That might still happen. Well, I'd put it this way. Raheem Morris as defensive coordinator, that would have been more likely if Tomlin would remain head coach. But Morris, now that Tomlin's out, Tomlin, buddy. I'm not sure Morris is going to want to go and work for the organization that one of his friends just got fired from. No, do not put that ill will, those words on us, those thoughts on us, concepts. We do not need Narduzzi. He's perfectly fine where he is with Pitt football. He doesn't need to take and underachieve with the team that I care about more in the city. I love my Pitt Panthers, but if I had to pick one team to, be terrible and always not win the big games, I'd pick Pitt and have Narduzzi stay there. Maybe someone who can bring back the 4-3 defense. Yeah, bringing in Shula. I think Shula's up there. Chris Shula, DC for the Rams, Clint Kubiak, John Gruden, if you want to, have Art Rooney the second, continue his we got to compete year in, year out thing. That could be something as well. But you got to wonder what other coaches out there. There's another guy that we haven't mentioned yet. You want to talk about going and getting a dude who's been there, done that, has won before, but has constantly underachieved in the playoffs. Mike McCarthy, another Western Pennsylvania native. He could be an option here. Looking, seeing if there's anything else. The Steeler fan memes are going crazy online right now. The Mike Tomlin era in Pittsburgh is over. I think that also tells you another thing, too. Aaron Rodgers, it was good knowing you. There is no way whatsoever that Aaron Rodgers comes back. Now, Rodgers, he also made headlines last night after the game as well. Said something along the lines of guys like Matt LaFleur and Mike Tomlin are constantly, over-criticized or something like that there from Rodgers. Was asked multiple times about how he feels about Mike Tomlin, said that I've talked enough about how I feel about Mike, and I just did in that effing answer, Rodgers. So he went to bat for Tomlin. Tomlin said, hey, thanks for sticking up with me. I won't be here. So that old meme, I'm not going to be here. I think Rodgers now, he can say the same thing. I think we all knew watching him get his absolute ass kicked when the offensive line started to get dominated by that Texans front. That definitely, I think, sent Rodgers into retirement. So new head coach, new quarterback, probably a pair of new coordinators next year for the Steelers. A new era of Steelers football is going to be coming up here next season. Who will be leading that? Who will be under center week 1? We do not know. Seeing what else is excuse me. See what else is here. Steelers now, I mean, we are going to be talking about this for a long time. What do they do now? Do they go in and bring in a head coach to continue to try to win? And do they think they're close and that they can get over that hump? Do they tear it down, start selling off veterans, go for a high draft pick, have a couple of, below average seasons, which, at this point, who the hell cares? Would rather take that and get back to the mountaintop than continue to tread water. We shall see. Do the New England Patriot plan, maybe. This is absolutely crazy news that came down like thunder, like lightning. Steeler firing Mike Tomlin's storm has already begun. Concepts here. Cam Hayward retires, becomes head coach. I'm not going to do that to Cam. Let's at least get in someone here who's going to bring in a modern look on football. All Cam has known has been Tomlin's defense, the old, 3-4 defense. Need someone who might bring a little bit of new stuff. The Emperor or the Entroper in here. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. Trust me. I think you want to get a erection from Steelers Nation. That might be one way to do it right there. But Cowher has multiple times throughout his TV career said he is not coming back to coaching. So we can put that one out of reach right now. Slayer in here. It'll be a complete rebuild. We will suck bad near next year and a few years after that. Hey, it's better than, watching the same terrible script over and over and over again. So we're bad for a few years, but it gets us back to, start collecting Super Bowl rings again. I will take that. Freight train here. Bet you $1,000 they interview Marcus Freeman. We'll see. I think Freeman already committed back to Notre Dame, but things could change. Also, didn't Freeman plead no contest or something like that? Something, legal wise just went down with Marcus Freeman. I guess if the Steelers interview him, dig deeper into that to see what it is. have zero confidence in this team, and that is an awful feeling. Without Tomlin, you can maybe have little confidence that they'll pick a new guy, but at least things are changing up a little bit. Things had to change, whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision. A change needed to be made, and now we finally got changed. It's going to blow up in ESPN. This doesn't happen in Pittsburgh very much. Very rare. This is like, seeing a unicorn and all of the, camera flashes are going off right now. So, yeah, this is insane. John in here, John the Baptist, Chris Shula from the Rams. Again, many people have brought that up in the comment section. That right now might be one of the leading candidates for the Steelers' next head coaching gig, because the Steelers, again, according to reports going back 2 weekends ago before that Ravens game, there were reports out there that the Steelers were looking into head coach or possible head coaches for the Steelers should Tomlin not be the Steelers head coach in 2026. Shula was mentioned in those reports. Marcus Freeman was mentioned in another. There was maybe one more there, but we shall see. This comment here from Truth, if I had to guess, then that likelihood just shot way up. Now trade TJ Watt, rebuild. Watt, just looking at him in his press conference last night, I think TJ Watt, he has completely been, shut down, and he's coming off of a not TJ Watt-like year either, just 7 sacks this year, I believe, for TJ. He looks completely burnt out here. I would not be shocked in the slightest if they trade TJ, if they go, the Patriots route, start selling off any veterans worth something, Also, let's start by, if we're getting rid of veterans here, let's start with number 81, Jonnu Smith. Don't think we've forgotten about that performance from him last night amidst all this chaos. I get you there, Concepts. Rebuild. Rebuild, so what? At least to not suffering, we could still score a lot of points and still get to the quarterback. Just not going to be winning. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We don't know. There were some things to take away positively from the Steelers season that could keep them in contention, like the defensive line. I thought really came a long way. Same way with the offensive line, even though they got dominated in the second half by the Texans' defensive line, which is the best D line in football. Very optimistic about the Steelers' trenches this season. Also, the corner room, I think, did quite well. You had James Pierre emerge out of nowhere. Joey Porter Jr. was lights out, earned himself a nice big boy contract, becoming that island shutdown quarter. So, there are still a couple of things on this team that have kept them competitive. Do the Steelers look at those strengths and say, hey, let's get a new head coach in here and still push for, still push for a deep playoff run with those things? Or do they say, hey, I know we got these good things right now, but there are too many holes in this roster. We got to start tearing stuff down. That is going to be a hell of a question that we need to find out the answer about for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Freight Train in here. I'm going to say it again. Will Howard might be the quarterback. We don't know. We don't know. Everyone loves Will Howard, myself included. But Will Howard now, who knows how this new head coach is going to view him? Who knows if Howard is going to fit the new scheme of the head coach and eventually the new offensive coordinator. Everyone's spot on this roster, aside from, a couple of guys who were, lights out this year and are slam dunks to return, like Nick Herbig and Joey Porter Jr., the offensive line, those things. Unless you had a slam dunk, 9 out of 10 Steelers fans are going to say you had a good season. Your roster spot on this team is no longer safe. That doesn't matter if you have been here for a decade, like Cam Hayward, or if you have been here for, just one season and have only played preseason snaps, like Caleb Johnson or a Will Howard. No one's spot on this roster is safe anymore, to be quite honest. But hey, change out the head coach. Lots of change is going to come. Rather see, new stuff be tried than Just throw them back the same old stuff, the same script with new players next year. At least now we can see what new players or ideas they could be going out to acquire. Flacco in here. Welcome, Flacco. Livid. You are Flacco. Is that livid in excitement, livid upset? No Concepts is upset. Both Smiths can go. Both. Remember last night we said there are 3 Smiths on the team? There was Arthur Smith, Jonnu Smith, and Marquez Valdez Smith. All 3 Smiths can go. And I think good idea for me to stop, talking last night when we watched Aaron Rodgers walk off the field. He and MVS hugged. Think that was, hey, we had a hell of a run. Now let's go down to some island somewhere and do ayahuasca together. We shall see. Truth here, Elliott might be gone. Cam Hayward might be gone. Queen might be gone. Elliott just signed a contract extension. I'm not sure if he's going to go. I mean, he might stay now because, with Tomlin gone, there's also the idea of, the coaches. They could want to keep someone, the new coaches, but the player, being buddy with Tomlin, they could want out. So depends on where some of these players fall on that side of the fence here. Do they want to stay here first and foremost? And does the new coaching staff want to keep them here? That comes second. We'll talk about that. Everyone going to want to trade out of Pittsburgh, says Flacco. I'm sure some people may, but, you will still see some of a good bit of the roster coming back here, unless you do like a full Tennessee Titans thing where you bring in someone new. This just popped up here from ESPN with the Tomlin firing candidates on Pittsburgh's radar. Maybe now they have the list of the guys that I saw 2 weeks ago. Who could the Steelers target? Chris Shula brought up Jeff Hafley, Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator. Los Angeles Chargers DC Jesse Minter. Tomlin has spoken highly of Minter in the past. They do mention DeMarcus Freeman, but he has rebuffed NFL intrigue. Could revisit that, says this Jeremy Fowler report. I think Aaron Rodgers now, he's on the way out. I mean, Rodgers clearly only came to Pittsburgh, or the biggest reason out of all of them why he came to Pittsburgh was to play for Mike Tomlin. Now that Tomlin's gone, Rodgers, he's not going to want to stay here. Sayonara, are you kidding me? So we shall see what comes. Lots of questions. All of a sudden, this offseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers just got cranked up to 100. Just like that. Holy hell. I think Will Howard might be our GOAT one day. Might be the next Tom Brady, but better, says Theo. Now that is super, super over-optimistic viewing here. If Will Howard could be a quarter of what Tom Brady did in his career, I consider that a massive success for him. He's going to Malibu. Yeah, Malibu, going to listen to the Dolphins, walk the beach, play with his dog, be with his wife, I guess. Texans defensive coordinator hire him. Who was their defensive coordinator last night? Don't really remember that. Need a quarterback whisperer kind of coach. Agreed. If you get a quarterback whisperer kind of coach, maybe you see if he can work some magic with, if you bring in a Malik Willis or you elevate a Will Howard. Maybe something like that could happen with a new quarterback whisperer head coach. But ideally, you would want to pair that QB whisperer head coach with a, high draft pick quarterback of some sort. I don't know if that comes in this year's draft. That'll be another thing, too, with this Steelers, whoever they hire as head coach. They go get a young guy like Clint Kubiak or something like that, or these guys that have had success developing quarterbacks. Cliff Kingsbury, for example, had that phenomenal first year with Jaden Daniels. If the Steelers go get someone like that, then maybe you will still see the Steelers be aggressive, maybe even over-aggressive for a quarterback in the draft. They're not going to get Fernando Mendoza, but maybe they take a big swing for a Dante Moore or Ty Simpson or something like that. I know those aren't sexy options here, but still. Looking at more reactions and stuff here from Tomlin's firing. One thing that I think will be greatly affected for the better by Tomlin's departure. I don't think the Steelers' offense is going to be, god awful terrible, being handcuffed half the time anymore. Since 2019, the Steelers have ranked 29th in yards per game, 311.4, and 23rd in points per game. They had 3 offensive coordinators in that time. Now, a new head coach is going to bring in a new OC. So, hopefully that changes. Maybe you do hire a guy like Chris Shula, and then he brings along like a passing game coordinator or something for the Rams, and they become the OC here. That'd be ideal. You still get your traditional Steelers defensive-minded head coach, but you also bring in a piece of one of these elite offense trees like a McVay or a Shanahan or something. It's like we got a reaction from Baltimore Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti. He was asked apparently if Mike Tomlin is a candidate in Baltimore. Bisciotti's answer, holy shit, wouldn't that be awesome? Only if John takes the Pittsburgh job. Wow. Just all of these reactions going insane. I'll be honest. We'll probably log off here within the next few minutes, and we'll come back live later on tonight around 5:30. This just blew up any sort of organization or protocol or anything for tonight's live stream. We're going to be all over the map tonight. So if you guys want to keep on talking Tomlin, please come back later tonight at around 5:30. This just completely flipped tonight's plans on its head. Roger Rabbit here. We also get a draft pick if he wants to coach again before the end of 2028. Yeah, the compensatory picks. Steelers are going to get 3 or 4 of those from players they lost. This Tomlin one should fetch you a pretty big one. He stepped down, so he still owned his coaching rights. Could still maybe trade his coaching rights if someone gets desperate. If you don't want to, have people competing for Tomlin signing him, Steelers could say, hey, if you just give us a first-round pick, we'll give you his coaching rights. Concepts here. Again, bad jokes. Matt Canadia just hired as head coach for the London Silly Nannies per Madam Schefter. That's hilarious. How long till an NFL team goes over to London or somewhere over there? Can't be too far off. Get Burrow and hire McDaniels as head coach here. Hope you're not talking about the McDaniels of Miami. As a coordinator, I'd take him, but head coach, I think he's he's biting off more than he can chew there. There's a pattern of success. McDaniels. Maybe you're talking about Josh McDaniels? McVay, Stafford, Clint Kubiak, Darnold. Offensive mind, that quarterback with all the intangibles and eager to win. Offensive-minded head coach would love that. Or at least if you're going to hire a defensive head coach, make sure he brings someone along with him from those trees of Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur, someone like that. Yeah, Josh. Took me a while. I talked myself through it there. Ideally, Shula as head coach, Mike McDaniels as OC. I'd be all right with that. McDaniels, I think I said this on stream here before. Him as a head coach, no. Him as an offensive coordinator, might be able to sway me on that one. 24 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Please, on your way in, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Up to 704 subscribers reacting to this humongous breaking news. Mike Tomlin out as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. It's not expecting to go breaking or to go live with this breaking news today. I thought if they were to do this, it might at least be a week or so. But talk about just saying, "Yep, I'm done. Peace out." Oddly enough, they didn't technically walk off together, but both Tomlin and Rodgers walked down the steps at the same time last night. This era of Steelers football of constantly trying to go for it, bringing in these big ticket names that maybe past their prime, it comes to an end with Rodgers and Tomlin walking down together. Brian Flores, please. That could intrigue me. Flores, though, will Flores have a gripe towards the organization, saying you really kept terrible Terrell Austin over me? You let me walk after 1 year? If Flores wants to come here and stick it to Tomlin, who didn't keep it on to DC as DC, that's one thing. But if that goes deeper than to like Omar Khan and Art Rooney, then Flores might be, why the hell would I want to come work for you? You guys let me walk out the door to go to Minnesota. So you want me back? That's cute. I don't want you. Seeing if there's anything else here. 2025 coaches gone. Tomlin out of Pittsburgh, Harbaugh out of Baltimore, Stefanski out of Cleveland. You know what? What's hilarious? I want to gauge the fan reaction to the Cincinnati Bengals right now. They just saw all three division rivals of the Bengals change coaches, and they're still stuck with Zach Taylor, who can't win a game without Joe Burrow. I bet you they are probably the most livid out of all the AFC North teams. We still are keeping Zach Taylor? Come on. Some other coaches out. After Tomlin and Harbaugh, Tomlin out after 19 years, Harbaugh out after 18. You then got Stefanski, who got fired in Cleveland. He was there for 6 years. Everyone else behind those three AFC North coaches, 4 years or less as head coach. McDaniel in Miami, Dable in New York, Gannon in Arizona, Morris in Atlanta, Callahan in Tennessee, Carroll in Las Vegas. Brian Callahan, his name just popped up there. He could maybe be an offensive coordinator. Seems to fall in that Mike McDaniel category of, not being good enough for a head coach, but as a coordinator, that might be his niche set. Looking to see if there's any new bits of information here on this Tomlin firing. Mike Tomlin's 19-year tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers ending with 1 Super Bowl championship, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 8 division titles, 13 playoff appearances, and never having a season below 500. The winningest coach in Steelers history with Chuck Noll. Mike Tomlin, done. Second longest tenured Steeler head coach in history. The Steelers will be looking for their first head coach since 1969. Tomlin, during the Tomlin era, 3rd in wins, 2nd in defensive EPA, 7th in offensive EPA per play. This is all PFF staff. 7th in point differential. See, I don't know where PFF is getting such good offensive stuff right there. PFF give and take. When they talk good about your players, it's good. When they talk bad about your players, it makes no sense. My, oh my. Crazy, crazy, crazy. 16 of you left in here. I think we're going to wrap up the show here in a moment. Josina Anderson here with a bit of a report. Maybe she was one of the people on a NFL Network here. Mike Tomlin prefers to coach in a warm weather environment if it fits. Miami? I mean, Miami or a dome stadium. I mean, what teams fit in that category? You got Miami, Arizona has a dome, Las Vegas. Watch them go to Vegas, and then they're going to hire Tomlin and draft Mendoza. That could be something right there. I'm trying to think what else. We just went through all of those. Miami fits the bill. Vegas fits the bill. Arizona fits the bill. Atlanta, dome, still south. Tennessee, Tomlin could be going somewhere south for his next coaching gig. Again, if he wants another coaching gig. He stepped down, and again, at least one report from Mike Florio of Pro Football Talkies, really, really good, said he does have something, or he feels that he has something television-wise in his back pocket. Maybe Tomlin goes there, and then he comes back to coaching in a few years. But one thing's for sure, Tomlin and whoever his agent is, that phone is going to be sizzling, sitting there on the counter till he puts pen to paper on a new head coaching contract. When that is, TBD. But again, let's see now if the Steelers can catch up behind their two division rivals and the other teams, and getting coaches in here, getting coaching candidates in here, interviewing them. We'll be keeping track now of 3 teams. We're going to keep track of who the Ravens and Browns are going after. Now the Steelers, they're in there competing for those guys. This is going to heat up. I think that's going to wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen, on here for over an hour when this is all said and done here. So appreciate you all joining in for the breaking news of Mike Tomlin stepping down as Steelers head coach. I'm sure we will, at around 5:30, lead off with this same news. We'll talk about it. We'll reiterate what has already been reported. We'll put out any new stuff that gets reported between now and then. So more Mike Tomlin talk coming up later tonight. Maybe now that this news has completely taken over the story of last night's loss, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that game last night. It'll be something short and sweet, I'm sure, because people are going to want to talk about Tomlin. We'll also bring up Penguins hockey and Pirate baseball as it comes fit. So thank you all. I think that is going to wrap it up here. We did read the statement there, Concepts. I see it. Kurt Schilling of Indiana Hoosiers is the top dog. I mean, Signetti. Yeah, Signetti, Gruden, Kubiak, multiple guys with, different coaching styles and experiences. They're all good options. Which style, which direction the Steelers want to hit in as a franchise, that'll be determined by their next head coach. So I think that's going to wrap it up. We'll be back here a little bit later on tonight, talking more about this Tomlin breaking news and so much more. We wrap up with this, of course, Concepts, keeping in mind everything here. 19 years coming to an end with Tomlin stepping down. Got to thank Coach T for all he did. Did it get long in the tooth? Yes, but should we still be grateful for the successes that were had here? Absolutely. Here's to a new, brighter future, and here's to past glories from Mike Tomlin. Now on to a newer and hopefully brighter future. Thank you all. Please come on back later tonight. I will, here in the next few minutes, probably make the live stream for later on tonight around 5:30. We'll start off with more Mike Tomlin stuff, and we'll let the comment section and the other stuff going on in Pittsburgh sports be our guide. So, holy hell, did I just say a Tomlinism to wrap it up? That's hilarious. We're gonna let the news and how it may flow be our guide. So, thank you all. See you back here at around 5:30. Tomlin stepping down in Pittsburgh. A new era ahead for the black and gold. See you back here a little bit later on. Peace.